안녕하세요 여러분, Tony입니다. Hello everyone, it's Tony. So Papa JYP, producer JYP, artist JYP is back with a special solo comeback. This one being a rather peculiar one, but then again, when has he not done something kind of like out of the ordinary, a bit more retro, a bit kind of older school? This one being a song literally titled Corny Love Song by YOYOMI. So YOYOMI is what I've looked up so far is a trot singer. Now a trot singer is kind of like that old kind of like classical style kind of music that I guess you could say for most of us, I guess that are watching would be like, you know, that music that like our grandparents listened to an extent. It's kind of like a bit more classical, a bit old school in style. And even from this just like poster like that you can see it's kind of keeping true to that. The font, the image quality, the outfits, it's going to be definitely kind of a throwback. And I'm quite excited to see it just because JYP is known to have a style similar to this, but he always brings that kind of like more modern influence into it sometimes to like elevate it to something that is like, you know, I would say palatable for today's kind of like audience. So I'm quite excited to check it out. I was honestly expecting this to be released another day, not like today, more like the 17th, but I'm happy it's finally out. So let's, without further ado, check it out. And if you want to go check out my other JYP reactions, I think the only one I have is Switch to Me, which literally today also Daeyeon and Chaeyeon of Twice did a cover to. Although I'll leave it linked in the description box below. So hopefully check out a video. But with that being said, let's get into this. It's a 5-minute video too.
안녕하십니까.
Hello.
밴드마스터 찰리입니다. 오후 4시부터 새벽
I like
4시까지
his
영업하는
like look at his hair. It's like very just much fitting of the style with the kind of bandana too. It's interesting. Interesting. I think he's always gone with the name Charlie too, right? Like in English.
내시봉을 찾아주신 여러분께 진심으로 감사드립니다.
musical.
오늘 첫 무대는 요즘 한창 사랑받고 있는 저희 내시봉 전속 가수 요요미 양의 무대입니다.
YOYOMI, yeah. I mean, it makes
가슴
sense.
미어지는 이별의 아픔을
Heartbreaking
노래한
parting song.
촌스러운 사랑노래.
Corny Love Song.
박수로 함께 모셔보도록
Please
하겠습니다.
give a welcoming round of applause. I don't think he actually is singing in this. Yeah, I think he's just helping with the music because in this one it says producer JYP and it doesn't say actually kind of a singer like JYP. So that's kind of an indication to me that at least he's doing more of like the actual kind of just like background work, whereas usually you wouldn't put by YOYOMI unless if it's like a feature. So I think that what's happening here is she's going to be doing most of the singing. I've never heard her sing. It's going to be interesting. This definitely throws it back. Wow, this is like, yeah, this is what I imagine when I watch a Jackie drama. Oh my god, I'm so happy there are lyrics in English. She has a very beautiful voice. Wow, the high notes and the prolongs and the ups. Said you love me. So far her voice is really powerful and it has definitely that tone of a bit like of a trot singer. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a little bit like high pitched up there and it has that kind of like nuance that's a bit makes it feel a bit kind of like old school, kind of like what I'm seeing right now, kind of like that type of like bar club vibe at night with like the guitar and the band playing kind of like almost casual jazzy tones a bit. That's kind of what I feel like her voice fits, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm just curious as to how JYP comes up with like these lyrics, man. Like what? Okay, but so far the beat, the musicality is really appealing. It's a bit like a throwback to me, but I can definitely approach the song, which is something I appreciate from JYP's music. It's still somewhat approachable, even though it has that kind of like old school style to it. You said I was the only one. I believe it foolishly. must have been in love more. It's definitely a love song. It's just a like an old school love song. I cry. See, it says this is a corny love song, but I don't find it too corny. I think that the lyrics are what makes it corny. It's kind of like a self-reflection on itself almost. But I think that the setting, like the video quality and how they go about it approaching and how Yo-Yomi's like approaching certain notes a bit more caressing them, a bit warmer on certain one, it does really lend itself really well. And it's very nice. And her voice is really like fits perfectly for the song. I really do like it. When I watch it, I cry. What are these lyrics, man? Oh, that's a bit awkward. Oh, I think the black and white is actually like I think what they're imitating is like the idea of a TV scene, like an actually drama, like a tacky TV drama kind of, and then that the color is kind of like real life. I think that might be what's happening, or like a memory perhaps. Ooh, the violin is a big surprise here. Even that little scene right here, this panning away from the kiss to go towards like some object is very reminiscent of that time of filmography where they didn't really show the kisses, they just like panned away. And they would put something like a violin actually in sense to that like scene, which is quite cool. I like how they sync that all up. JYP just grooving out with the guitar. I guess when I broke up before. The piano coming in a bit stronger here is really nice. It adds a little bit of variety and texture to the second half of the song. Tacky drama, I cry. Okay, so I really haven't been giving YOYOMI the recognition, but like her voice is very powerful. It's very impressive. Like the sustains, the kind of like high tones that she's hitting continuously, very, very impressive. Oh, that little thing, I like that. I really like that. Her vocal control is really impressive, man. But I keep waiting. The violin here. The violin is really good. I like the addition of the violin and the piano. Hey, JYP! Oh, he's kind of like writing his love song. Oh, it's past memories. It's not an actual TV show. It's her lover. Even the storyline is very reminiscent of like the movies that I would see of the time. I really, honestly, surprisingly heavily enjoyed this. I really like the storyline. I think that had I not had the music video, I wouldn't have loved it as much as I did. I really quite enjoyed it. I really did. I like the overall kind of just like kind of throwback vibes for me. A bit of nostalgia here, a bit of kind of just like throwback to like the old times, a bit of like stuff that we don't really hear nowadays. And that's not something that I find really fun to listen to JYP's stuff, is because it incorporates always the idea of like nostalgia, a bit of like that old school vibe that we don't hear from anybody else. And this is a cool combination of like him bringing forward like trot singing that I would say doesn't really get put to the limelight as like a lot of like people now listen to more K-poppy stuff, and just like there's like that kind of like niche area that has the trot singer stuff. So I like how this is kind of like bringing being brought forward with JYP here. It's really nice, and I would say that the instrumentality is cool. I kind of am not a big fan of that like almost banjo guitar playing in the background the whole time. I feel like it adds a bit of a country vibe, but I understand that's part of like the instrumentality of that time. It's just like I always found that that part was not my favorite. I loved the idea of when the piano comes in along with the actual like violin. That's a really nice combination, I think, in my opinion, with the actual drum in the background. That was beautiful, and over Yo-Yo-Mi's voice, really powerful too. Really loved it, and really looking forward to see what JYP comes up with next, because every time he does something, it's a little bit wacky, it's a bit out of the box, but it's always sure to be like hitting the right place. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you want to go check out my reaction to Switch to Me, which was my last JYP reaction featuring Rain, it'll be linked in the description box below. Let me know what you thought of this song in the comment section below, and until next time guys, thank you so much for watching. 감사합니다. And as always, if you have any comments, questions, or something you want to talk, feel free to leave in the comment section below, and I'll get to it as soon as possible. That being said, guys, I've been Tony. 안녕히 계세요. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video. 안녕. Goodbye.